Hello everyone and welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you my ultimate master material for Unreal Engine. This master material comes in two versions. First, the classic 3-texture workflow. And second, a more optimized version that uses only 2 textures. In this optimized version, the base color and roughness are packed into the first texture, while the normal, ambient occlusion and metallic are packed into the second one. So you can choose between higher flexibility or better performance, depending on your project. Now let's jump into the base parameters. You can quickly adjust the desaturation to change the overall look of your material. You have full control over the metallic value. And you can fine-tune the roughness. A value of 1 gives you the default surface. Lower values make it shinier, and higher values make it more rough and matte. There is also a tint parameter which allows you to directly color your base color without modifying the texture. By default, the metallic channel is disabled to keep everything optimized, but if you need it, you can simply enable it and the metallic effect will immediately appear. The last base parameter is normal intensity. This allows you to boost the strength of your normal map or reduce it for a softer look. You can even invert it if needed. Now let's move on to the tiling parameters. Of course, you have the standard tiling control to scale your textures, but you also get more advanced controls. You can rotate the texture, and you can offset it. The offset uses the red channel for the X direction and the green channel for the Y direction, giving you precise control over how your texture is positioned. This is especially useful for breaking repetition in modular environments. Now let's talk about one of the key features of this master material, the optimized triplanar projection. This isn't your typical heavy triplanar setup. It's designed to be efficient. It does not add extra texture lookups, and it keeps the shader complexity very low, so you get the benefits of triplanar mapping without the usual performance cost. All the tiling parameters we talked about earlier still work perfectly when triplanar is enabled. That means you keep full control over scale, rotation, and offset. As you can see, the performance is comparable to a classic triplanar material. At the transition between projection axes, you might sometimes notice a small seam. This can happen depending on the surface. If that's the case, you can enable the breakup noise option. And here you can see the result on a rock material where the transitions are naturally blended and the seams are much less visible. Now, let's add some extra detail to the surface. This master material includes several automatic grunge effects that help break repetition and add realism. The first one is dirt. This effect is fully adjustable. You can control the fall-off to define where the dirt appears. You can tweak the contrast to sharpen or soften the effect. And you can change the color to match your environment. You can also adjust the intensity of the noise texture to control how strong the variation is. On top of that, the dirt can generate its own normal detail automatically. This adds extra depth and makes the effect feel much more grounded on the surface. And of course, you can fine-tune the roughness of the dirt to match the look you want. Next, there is a dust effect. It works in a very similar way with the same type of controls, giving you another layer of surface variation. And then there's AO dirt. This effect uses ambient occlusion to automatically add dirt into the cavities of your mesh. It's especially useful for adding natural buildup in creases and intersections. Just like the other effects, it comes with similar parameters for full control. Now, all of these effects can be driven using custom primitive data. This is a very efficient way to create variation across multiple objects without creating new material instances. And to make things even easier, all the custom primitive data values can be adjusted using the widget included with the master material. Now, let's take a look at the emissive feature. This allows you to add glowing surfaces directly inside the material, while still keeping all the grunge effects visible on top. By default, the emissive is applied to the entire mesh. You can easily adjust both the intensity and the color to match your look. If you need more control, you can combine it with a texture. You can use a mask texture or even the Vertex color alpha to define exactly where the emissive should appear. This gives you a lot of flexibility for things like screens, lights, or sci-fi details. You also have the option to add a flicker effect, perfect for adding subtle variation or bringing more life to your materials. Just like the grunge effects, the emissive can be controlled using custom primitive data, so you can adjust intensity and color per object with or without the included widget. And if needed, you can also use a dedicated texture to fully define your emissive. Now let's look at another very useful feature to break repetition. Tiling can quickly become noticeable, especially in modular environments. To solve this, the material includes a random offset system. When enabled, it automatically randomizes the texture offset for each mesh. This creates unique variations across your assets, even when they all share the same material. It's a simple feature, but extremely effective for reducing visible tiling and making your scenes feel more natural and less repetitive. Now, let's talk about blending your assets naturally into the environment. When building environments, it's often difficult to make meshes sit properly within the scene. To solve this, the material includes an automatic dirt feature based on distance fields. It creates a natural dirt transition between your mesh and the surrounding environment. To use it, you simply need to enable distance fields in your project. Once enabled, the effect works automatically. You can control the grunginess of the dirt using color channels. Each channel influences different layers of noise, allowing you to fine-tune the look. You can also invert the effect if needed, depending on your use case. And of course, you have full control over the fall-off and the roughness to match your scene perfectly. This makes it much easier to ground your assets and achieve more realistic results. The material also includes a rain effect. This allows you to quickly add wetness to your surfaces, enhancing realism and making your environments feel more dynamic. Now let's move to the last feature, Vertex tint and material blending. Using Unreal Engine's Vertex Paint tool or directly from your 3D software, you can paint specific areas of your mesh. Here you can see an example of the vertex colors applied to this mesh. Inside the material, you can then tweak the tint and the roughness based on those vertex colors. This gives you precise, localized control over the look of your asset. And just like the other features, this can also be driven using the custom primitive data widget. Now, taking it one step further, Vertex painting can also be used to blend multiple materials together. You can blend several materials directly inside the shader. The blending simulates a height-based transition without requiring any additional height textures. And for each blended material, all the previous effects still apply. That means grunge, dirt, rain, emissive, everything works seamlessly across all layers. This makes the material extremely powerful while still staying efficient and easy to use. Thanks for watching. I hope this Ultimate Master material helps you speed up your workflow and improve your environments. If you're interested, you can check it out on Fab, and feel free to share your feedback or what you create with it.